Good afternoon and welcome to this counseling session by Institute for Advanced Computing and Software Development, IACSD Akudi. Myself, Keshav Kumar, I head the campus placements and marketing department at IACSD Akudi. IACSD Akudi is an authorized training center of CDAC ACTS in existence from more than 23 years. And running courses like CCAT, that is preparatory course, post-graduation diploma in advanced computing, that is PGDAC, post-graduation diploma in business big data analytics, that is PGDBDA, post-graduation diploma in IT infrastructure system security, that is PGDTS. Now, all of you or most of you, almost everyone should have done a pre-CAT course, either in a regular mode or in a fast track mode or in a super fast track. So you are already aware of the contents or the syllabus. But my advice is that do not only stick to this syllabus. This is a competitive exam. It is not your university exam wherein you can go and complain that this question or this topic was not there in the syllabus. How come you can ask? So you should be ready for the surprises. The first and foremost important thing is that you may not get all the questions which you have practiced in the past. There might be certain new questions which you have never tried in your life, right? So you should be ready for that. Surprises, you should be ready. You cannot expect that all the questions which have come in the section A or section B of CCAT, you have already practiced it. So you should be ready. But then the concepts, the formulas, the calculations will remain the same. So if you're clear on the concepts, logics, reasoning, aptitude, and mathematics, calculations, squares, tables, probability, you can easily score high in the CCAT examination. Right. So this was the first thing which you have to keep in mind, that the CCAT examination is a competitive examination. And the idea of CCAT is that we want to have best out of the lot. There might be somewhere around 15,000 students appearing for the examination on coming July 30th and 31st. You might have already downloaded your admit cards and all, and you might be looking forward to appear for the examination. But then there are hardly 2-3 days. You have already studied a lot, practiced a lot. What are the important things? I'm not going to teach you mathematics. I'm not going to share something which is related with probability or which is related with your quadratic equations or which is related with your English. But I'm going to share the strategy, or I'm going to share the approach which you should follow for scoring high. All my life, I have given multiple examinations. I have cleared the MBA entrance. I have cleared the staff selection commission. I have cleared the banking examination. So I know what are the important things which you should keep in mind. I'll come to that one by one. There are 2 sections. We are not talking of section C, because at our institute we do not have any courses running, or at our institute pre-CAT does not include section C. That is basically for the students who are going to appear for embedded VLSI, etc. Section A is there. There is an English, there is mathematics, there is reasoning. These 3 broad categories are there, and these are basically MCQ questions which are asked, and they contain 40 to 50 questions. Normally 50 questions are there, but then if the pattern changes, maybe that 40 minimum questions should be there. Okay, you can scroll through the questions, you can scroll through the answers, you can move one page to second page to third page, etc. Section B, that is the technical section that contains questions on C and OOPS. Maximum questions, that is 60 to 70% of the questions come on C language or C++, that is basically OOPS. That also contains portion of data structures. There might be some limited questions of 6-7 questions of data structures. There are some questions which are on fundamentals of computing. There are some questions which are related with sometimes database technologies also, sometimes networking also, sometimes computer fundamentals also. So you should be clear. But then the basic focus should be on C and OOPS concepts. C, that is arrays, pointers, then you have if, while, do, loop, etc. and all. Right? Okay. So these all things you should be clear in your mind. Let me just stop share this. Okay. I'll take the questions, but I'll take the questions in the end. Right? Okay. So we'll go through. There are certain 10 points which I have made, which are very necessary for you to crack the CCAT examination of CDAC and score high. Let me just share that sheet with you. Just hold on a second. I'll come to that. Share screen and share. Okay, so this is a part of the blog which I was preparing from last 2 days. I have written this blog. This is there on my LinkedIn profile also, and you can find it in some other places also. As I told you, the first thing is that entrance examinations are not university examinations. You should be clear on that. In a competitive world, smart preparation is the need of the hour, right? To qualify for the PG courses of CDAC. There are somewhere 15,000. Ultimately, 6,000-7,000 students will get admitted into the various courses of CDAC. At our institute, you should have somewhere close to 1,000 rank. 1,000 ranked students will be able to easily get admitted into the PG Diploma in Advanced Computing program at IEC. For regular updates, you can visit our website also, right? And you can visit our YouTube channel also. Okay, that will guide you, because there are certain videos which are there on our YouTube channel, which will guide you properly for the preparation of CCAT examination. You should have a set pattern for study, for practice. My suggestion is that early morning, you should be free from your daily activities, and 6-7 o'clock, study for 2 hours. That will give you the output of 4 hours. That will give you the output of 4 hours. ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में, हमारे शास्त्रों में भी लिखा है, ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में, when no disturbance is there, no traffic is there, nobody is along, family members are also not there to disturb you, that is the best time period for you to practice, study एकांत में जितनी शिक्षा आप ग्रहण कर सकते हो. It is very difficult for you to get that kind of solitude and peace of mind. That is the time when the absorption power of an individual increases. That goes right. Let's move on to the, I'll just scroll the first. It is very important to understand your strengths and prepare accordingly. So what I mean to say here is, you should always, you should always, I say that, utilize your strengths and build the further calculations or approach on your strengths. The question paper is there, the section A is there. You can scroll through the sections, questions and options, etc. And whichever you are confident, whichever area. If you are confident in geometry, if you are confident in quadratic equation, permutation, combination, squares, or tables, or whichever area you are confident, mensuration, whichever, or perimetry, etc., wherever you are confident, approach and clear that section first. There will be somewhere around 40 to 50 questions. Mathematics, quantitative aptitude contains somewhere at 25 to 30 questions. Do not get stuck up on any questions which is difficult and which is taking some time of yours. Skip that. Put it mark for review, come back again, and then approach. Answers are there, options are there, multiple choice. So looking at the answers and looking at the question, half of the problem is solved. You can solve half of the problems looking at the answer. Suppose which is a perfect square? There's 5-digit numbers are there. Which is a perfect square? You know, a perfect square does not end in 2, does not end in 3, does not end in 7, does not end in 8. So any number which ends in this 4-5 digit, so that cannot be a perfect square. So that kind of presence of mind has to be there. Looking at the options, you can easily make it out that this is not possible at all. So if you are left with 2 options, the calculations becomes easy. In the CDAC examination, never long calculations are there, short calculations are there. But then as our aptitude trainer has already explained, the shortcuts, the tricks, how to memorize the squares, how to memorize the things, and how to get the answers in a quick succession. So you should follow that. Practicing will only make you remember those shortcuts. You have been already provided with the mock tests and all and previous patterns and all that you are clear, right? You have to see that you practice mock test seriously. Mock test means it is a mock test. It is not कि 1 घंटे का क्वेश्चन आप 2 घंटे में सॉल्व कर रहे हो और बोलो नहीं मैंने mock test सॉल्व कर लिया. नहीं, you have to, the idea of mock test is that put a timer, 60-minute timer, 50 questions you solve in 60 minutes and assess that कि कितने right हैं और कितने wrong. For every right answer you get 3 marks, for every wrong answer you are deducted with 1 mark. So there is a negative marking. तो आपने 25 सही किए और 25 गलत कर दिए, आपको लग रहा है 75 मार्क्स हैं, लेकिन 75 नहीं, वो तो 25 माइनस हो गए तो 50 मार्क्स. So guesswork is not advisable. We do not support guesswork unless and until you are very sure. Do not go for that. You should keep a tab on the time limit, which is very crucial. At the same time, the time management helps you to solve 50% of the issue. You should always see that you have 5 or 10 minutes spare, which will help you to revisit the sections, questions again, right? Wherever you have put mark for review, you come back to that, solve it, and you can review. It is, you should not be in a hurry कि 1 घंटे का क्वेश्चन है तो मैंने 30 मिनट में सॉल्व कर लिया, तो मैं तो एक्स्ट्रा इंटेलिजेंट हूँ यार, ये क्या पेपर सेटर ने क्या पेपर बनाया आधे घंटे में. नहीं, the paper setter has mixed and matched the questions which will take on an average 1 hour. Some may complete in 40-45 minutes, but maximum, that is 70 to 80% students will require 1 hour. The 1 hour time दिया है तो utilize full of the full time and for your own benefit. Now, one more suggestion is that you should form study groups, right? Like-minded students. If your wavelength is matching with, it does not matter. Gender is not an issue here. Male, female, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Religion, caste, creed, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, right? You are an IT aspirant. CDAC examination आपने already register किया है. You want to crack it. Study groups 2 का, 4 का, 5 का, 6 का. One student is preparing vocabulary, one is preparing tenses, one is preparing preposition. So accordingly you एक explain करता preposition, एक tenses, एक singular plural, and so etc. You at given moment हर एक presentation देगा तो 4 topics you can clear. You can revise it, right? You prepare quadratic equations, somebody prepares areas and squares, somebody prepares mensuration, somebody prepare permutation and combination, somebody algebra, someone arithmetic. So that way, combination. Obviously, contribution of everyone should be there. Study group में अगर एक ही contribute कर रहा है, so that is not a study group, right? So that saves time and sees that you get to learn multiple topics at the same time. You should practice calculations every day. Everyday calculations will ask you to revisit those shortcuts and those calculations, so you'll not make a mistake again and again, right? Okay, if I say 25 table, you can very well tell it, right? Rohra sir has already taught 23 24 के tables कैसे रटने हैं, कैसे याद करने हैं. रटना नहीं है, कैसे how basically you calculate within a second and come to the answer, right? One has to be one has to act smartly and become a master of maths by using shortcuts and tricks taught to you. You need to simplify the problem before solving, right? Question को break करना है. You have to understand वो पूछ क्या रहा है, what they are trying to answer. There is question on age, father, son. Then there is a question on time and work, right? Train, speed, distance, and all. So you should understand what they are trying to ask and what is the question they have proposed and what kind of answer they are saying. So if you understand the question, break up the question, it's easier for you to answer that. Moving on to the next tip, seventh tip, we have come to this. Just a second. Self-evaluation can do magic, and one can take exercise every week, every fortnight. अब तो week भी नहीं है, fortnight भी नहीं है, तो every day कर लो. Every day, go through the mock tests, follow the allotted time for solving. That I have already explained. You have to solve the mock test in 1 hour. Evaluate it, how much you have scored, how much correct answers, how many correct answers, how many wrong answers. This will, and every time when you give a next mock test, there has to be an improvement. अभी मैंने 30 सॉल्व किए तो अगली बार 32, फिर 35, फिर 37, ऐसे करके improve करते जाते. You should be relaxed before the examination. That is, this is the Brahmastra, I should say, right? Ramban बोलते हैं ना, Ramban. So you should feel relaxed. यहाँ एग्जामिनेशन सेंटर पे आ गए, कभी भी पेजेस स्क्रॉल कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, नहीं. लीव 2 hours, घर से निकले, बुक सब कुछ, एवरी स्टडी मटेरियल, लीव इट देयर इटसेल्फ. एवरीथिंग शुड बी देयर इन योर माइंड, राइट? यू हैव टू फील रिलैक्स. नो नीड टू panic, no need to put unnecessary stress in your mind, and do not leave any chance to enhance your vocabulary, right? When we talk of English vocabulary, vocabulary is not कि grammar की book पढ़ ली सिर्फ तो हो जाएगा, right? Vocabulary is something wherein you read newspapers, you read magazines, sometimes you watch English movies. There are certain words which probably you will not be able to immediately understand that time, but keep a English Hindi or English Marathi dictionary, that will help you a lot. Grammar book, Rand Martin is advised, editorials, etc., fiction books, etc. That will improve your English and reasoning, right? One more tip is that a paragraph section is there. The paragraph section has to be attempted in the end. Keep that mind. ये बात गांठ मार के रख लो कि paragraph section सबसे last में उसको सॉल्व करना है. शुरू में ये पैराग्राफ सेक्शन मत सॉल्व करो, उसको सबसे लास्ट में, क्योंकि पैराग्राफ पढ़ने के लिए आपको 4-5 मिनट 10 मिनट का टाइम जाएगा, तो डू नॉट वेस्ट टाइम अननेसेसरी. बाकी के इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस आपके छूट जाएंगे, मिस हो जाएंगे. एंड सेकंड लास्ट टिप फॉर यू ऑल, CCAT exams have 2 sections for most of the courses, maximum of the courses. कुछ courses के लिए section C भी है. Section A aptitude and section B is technical, right? So there are some online portals which have been mentioned here, and there is India Big, Sand Foundry, Exam Veda, and all. You can take help of this for section B. You can take help of Connector. You practice it, right? So most of the questions, or some of the questions definitely are picked up from India Big, Sand Foundry, Exam Veda, right? Okay. If you want to become a good IT engineer, obviously you should get selected in a good training institute, which takes care of each and everything. Like at our end, we have various features like the trainers are experienced and they are from the industry. The lab faculties are excellent. They support you in and out. Each student is provided with a mentor. Group of 15 students get a mentor, which help you personally. There are regular evaluations, tests, practical tests, etc. A regular feature is that we always have a fortnightly expert talk from the industry, which would come in the campus for you. So that is a regular feature. So there are certain things which we do out of the way. We are very passionate about these students, and that's why we take care of these students, and we see that a proper in-depth learning and understanding of the technology has to happen in case we want you to succeed and make your career into IT industry. So section A, we have spoken what you have to do, how you have to solve mathematics, how you have to solve the reasoning part of it, and how you have to solve the paragraph part or the English part, right? So the reasoning will have 6-7 questions. 20 to 30 questions are there from the mathematics, and 10 questions are there from the English part. Section B, C questions are maximum. There are somewhere 20 odd questions from C language, 10 odd from C++, 10 odd from data structures and fundamentals of computers, and some questions are there from the database technologies or networking areas. You cannot say that networking was not a part, so you should be ready. Or if the syllabus gets extended to some basic concepts of networking or basic fundamentals of operating systems or some database concepts and all, right? You should be ready. You cannot say that this was not a part of the syllabus. How come they are asking these questions? So final tip from my side is that the marking structure is such that the weightage is given to section A and section B equally. There is negative marking, which I have already explained. You have to take care in mind. Do not use a lot of guesswork. A lot of guesswork will bog you down and see that your higher scores come down due to the negative mark. So if you are very sure and if you're clear on the answers, if you have doubt, mark for review. Come back again and solve it and get the answer. So these are certain tips probably which you can keep in mind. I'm not, as I told you earlier, we are not here to teach you aptitude. We are not here to teach you C language or data structures or C++. But we are here to provide you a proper approach so that you have peace of mind and you appear for an examination, CCAT examination properly, and come out with high scores, right? So wish you all the best. In case any student has any queries, he or she can ask. I am here to answer the queries. I'll stop share. Yes, students, any doubts? You are getting, we will stop the recording. Okay.